Hello, I'm Mrs. Hollinshead and welcome to one of my 3-minute thoughts where I introduce an idea about something in GCSE English that you may not have considered before. Today I'm going to talk about Romeo and Juliet and how Shakespeare presents their love for each other, and I'm going to introduce some ideas from a critic called Paul Kottman. You can choose to agree or disagree with his ideas, but I've taken some and applied them to this topic, which is what you can do with wider reading when you're aiming for grades 7 to 9 at GCSE. So, firstly, let's talk about how they fall in love so quickly. So yes, it's love at first sight, but both of them enter that party looking to fall in love. Romeo is looking for an alternative to Rosaline, who has said she won't love him back, and Juliet is looking to like someone, preferably Paris if her parents have their way, but it's a masked ball. Everyone has masks on, including our pair. I'm not saying that Juliet mistakes Romeo for Paris, but she is preparing for marriage, and as a teenager she's becoming aware that she is a being who can desire and fall in love, and this party is her chance to find that. When they meet, their first words form a 14-line sonnet together, showing how effortlessly in tune these two are, and that would be hard to ignore. Now let's look at the balcony scene, because this is where they find out how the other one feels, and the staging is very important here. Juliet had to be at the party, but nothing compels her to come out of that window, and no one calls her there. She is there of her own free will, and she speaks freely because she thinks she's on her own. So we know that these are her true feelings, and Romeo has also come there of his own free will. There's no matchmaker or go-between. The nurse and the friar do that later, but when these two fall in love and agree to marry, they are the ones who make that decision, and they do that because they see and speak to each other honestly and openly. When the scene opens, Romeo is speaking poetically about her, Juliet is the son, etc., treating her as an object, but he's interrupted by her speaking. When he decides to listen, he's not spying on her, he's giving her agency and recognising her free speech. Now, bearing in mind, Paris proposes to her father rather than her, and her father won't even let her say the word no later on the play. This is huge, and a real sign that Juliet will be able to choose for herself. She isn't some 13-year-old who's just whisked off her feet by Romeo. Romeo then has to choose when to reply and let her know that he's there. I mean, he could just let her speak and keep listening, but she needs to feel that she can speak freely with him as well as about him, so he does have to speak to her. And when they get married, notice that neither of them talk about doing this to deceive their families or even mention the fact that their marriage could fix the feud. That is all the friar. They seem content to have a private wedding and just be together. And later, when they've had their wedding night and Romeo leaves, a lot of students wonder why she didn't just go with him. Now, Kottman argues that Juliet doesn't go because she doesn't see a need to. Their relationship is strong enough that they can stand being separated. And what's interesting here is that until her parents come in the room, Romeo leaves, and this is the first and last time that Juliet faces a day, a future that appears to be open and not decided by anyone else. She has freedom because of her relationship with Romeo, and it's external forces that overthrow this for them. So that's it. I hope you found something valuable there. If you did, please subscribe and hit the bell on my profile or the channel page to be notified of the next episode.